Yo, what's going on? Um, I just had a couple of things on my mind real quick, late at night and all that, and I just had to get them off my chest, you know? Like, these times in COVID just, really the COVID reaction just got me like, yo, like, this has me like, wow, like, I thought people were kind of programmed, but like, I didn't know it was this bad. Like, I didn't know people were this, like, goofy and just like willing to go along with anything that's just pumped into the fucking heads. As long as if like this whole world of popularity contest, like if everybody thinks is popular or whatever says something, everybody else just goes along and just agrees with it. Well, the majority of people just go along, just brainlessly like off a cliff and just do whatever the fuck it like. It's crazy. Like this whole, especially this country, America is just a big popularity contest. Like if the Kardashians, Beyonce's, or whatever tell you to fucking like stab yourself, you about to see a whole bunch of people out here looking, shanked up and butchered just for a popularity contest. You see people out here, fucking up their bodies and going to the Dominican Republic to change the body so they can look like the Kardashians and whoever else, Nicki Minaj and all these other people, like, and it's not realistic, You got people out here looking around, trying to be like these rappers who live in a false lifestyle. You can't really do that without having to go to extreme measures and doing all types of crazy, terrible shit to get that kind of money. The stance with the how they had the money next to their ear, acting like it's a phone or whatever. They're calling the money like getting that much money. You got to do you got to do certain shit to get that money. There's a lot of shit these rappers do to get that kind of money, but that's here and there. But like back to like what's going on with this COVID reaction. Really, not it's not COVID. Like from the beginning, I've been seeing it. Like it doesn't make no sense, and no one's calling it out. We live in a world everybody's scared to say the truth. Like damn, people demonize the truth to the point where it seems like lying is the way out, and it's like fucking ridiculous, man. And we might be the weakest generation of people to have ever walked this earth. I don't think it can get any worse than where we at now. Damn near. We just letting all types of atrocities, fascism, everything. Like in the past, people used to die about this shit. Like if you went out here and you try to fucking lock people in their houses and shit like that for some disease and shit like that, but you don't have, you're not helping anybody pay no rent. You still gotta pay the rent. You still gotta go out here and get your kids to school. You still gotta go out here and what other shit you gotta do? You gotta go out here and get food and shit like that. You gotta fucking sustain yourself. But they don't want you to fucking like, they want to limit your life and make your life more of a cage. Put you in a bigger cage, limit what you can do. And they were slick about it too. They took all this shit away from us, all the our leisure time away from us for a year. So everybody's like, oh man, you can't go anywhere. You can't do this. You can't do that anymore. You can't do this anymore. You can't do that anymore. Oh no, can't. We can't. Yep. You're gonna come with this diseases. The diseases are gonna start coming up. Can't have the kids in school anymore. They gotta go on Zoom. Can't go to stadiums anymore. That's over. And it's kept it that way and kept it that way until they went through the whole Trump thing. They made him the fall guy for COVID and all that. Never actually got impeached. Nothing actually happened to him. So it was just a bunch of quibble quabble, bunch of babble. That's all that shit was. It was just a theater, the Trump theater. And then when that was done, between Trump and them, the whole show, they went on and they just continued the COVID shit with Biden, who's just a total puppet. But they went on with him, and he was just a complete puppet, and just all the tyranny is just going right through him, and no one's saying anything. And like I said before, they have us all missing out on all the leisure stuff. Everybody's all just missing out and crying for the days when we could just play around and do all these things. But we gotta start realizing we can't just play around. Like They're using this to take our rights away. Once again, it's the COVID reaction. It's not the disease itself. It's the virus itself. It's the reaction to it that is tyranny. You do not take away people's uh, ability to move around for this. To and use this as an excuse to completely take all types of crazy measures to quote unquote keep people safe. You know, like one thing that's an issue is the essential workers that no one's being paying attention to like that. Everybody just fucking like it's ridiculous, man. Like a bunch of monkeys out here. Like the essential workers that they've been touting, especially I'm not even talking about the doctors and the nurses and all that. I want to talk about because they're suspicious, but I want to talk about like the garbage men and the construction workers and all these other people who built America. You could see it in the early 2020 when it all started off. You could see these people working, while everybody's so you could split into two. If you weren't an essential worker, your job is bullshit. Really, I don't care what you got to say. If you can do your job on Zoom, you're an expendable job. But if your job requires you to go out there and hold America together, the structure of America together, you're really true-blooded, like holding this shit down. You really hold this shit down, not just some like big mouth just talking a bunch of whatever. So a lot of these companies, if they disappear and they crash, it's whatever. But there'll be a couple of waves and people's stocks will be hit, but it won't really like cause anything. But if you lose construction workers, they're not replaced. Shit is not getting built. Like these buildings are gonna be all kinds of, jacked up, and you have all kinds of regulations and stuff like that that'll have to be dealt with. They'll have to get workers from somewhere. Someone has to be a construction worker. Someone has to be a plumber. Someone has to be. You need people who can deal with the infrastructure of the nation. You gotta have people that provide the food. You gotta have farmers. You gotta have these people. These people are not people who can take breaks. So these essential workers are more valuable to the nation right now, and have always been. But like people like to brush them away, and give them like with the troops. People like they'll suck their dick for a little bit, and then they sweep them away after they're done with the election or whatever. They'll be like, oh, the troops, oh my gosh, the troops, where would we be without the troops? And then they sweep them away after the conversation is done. When really the troops and all these other people, the essential workers, they're more valuable than the politicians. They should have an open saying, not the politicians, about who gets voted in. It should be the election should be based like this. It should be a workers' election. They should be like, this guy has spoken up for this and that, and he's come to an agreement between, construction workers and the carpenters and the MTA and all these other railroad companies and the electricians, and he's come to an agreement with them and the teachers and the, all that, and he's lobbied for them, and so we've decided that he is a good middleman, and we want to be the spokesman for us. It should be like that. It should not be the other way around, where we think we're supposed to be kissing their ass and smucking up to them and hoping that they do stuff for us. That's where we are. We think we have to kiss up to them and do all this shit in order for them to do stuff for us, and it should not be that way. We should not have to kiss their asses at all. They are public servants. Okay? They are public servants. These public servants have been getting paid the entire time. We, the people who put them in, are not getting paid the entire time, I guarantee that, but we are not getting full pay. They are getting full pay to do the sorry ass shit that they have been doing, to pull this tyranny ass bullshit. But this is what happens when you have a group of a public that is ignorant of how this political process works. This is not how it's supposed to be, and this is a product of ignorance, of selfishness. When people don't look out for each other and they see each other, Democrat, Republican, everyone wants to go back and forth between all these different groups that we want to label ourselves into. And this then makes them more powerful because they are organized in their tyranny, you know? They're organized in their tyranny, and you are not organized in your silly groups that don't mean anything because you don't have any understanding of how this shit really works, and they do. So they play games with words and stuff like that and trick you into giving up more power and sign away more bills that, like the Patriot Act, bills like that, which are meant to play on the conservative mindset. And then you got other bills that are meant to play with these marijuana laws and stuff like that, which are meant to play on the liberal mindset. They know how to talk to each group, and every group thinks they're getting something. You ain't getting nothing. They're playing you, like a strum, talking to you with certain code words, and they're giving you what you think you're gonna get, and you're not getting anything. All you get is more rights taken away. The Patriot Act gets to spy on you. Yeah, they get to spy on you because you're not paying attention to what's really going on. You're just in your feelings. Everyone's in their feelings. Everyone's emotionally attached to these parties, and yeah, and that's now we're here. So COVID is really the accumulation of a whole series of events of blatant ignorance and people falling for these tricksters that have been put into power, and people that have done, these middlemen who snuck around the cracks for years and years, and people have not properly dealt with them and have them charged. And we don't deal with criminals the right way. They just take over and they just have you just, everything is just ass backwards, and that's how you see it now. Everything is ass backward, and this country is just on its final leg. Tyranny is on the way up, and it's not looking any good. It's not looking it's not looking bright, and people are still stuck on stupid. Like especially this last election shows you that it's all a joke. You gotta think about it. Joe Biden was handpicked from the beginning. He was not really the guy. If you have a decently intelligent group a population of people, you would not pick Joe Biden. And we know that nobody would want to pick Joe Biden, but they picked him because they didn't. That's how they see us. They see us as a bunch of idiots. So they picked it. It's like picking. It's like picking Muhammad Ali after his prime. Except Joe Biden does not have a prime. Like, it's probably not even good to use Muhammad Ali. It's like just, this guy is just a hot mess. And even if you picked him in his prime, he doesn't have. There's no great moments. He didn't stand up for anything in his long years of being in. He stood up for absolutely nothing. He didn't pass anything of any kind of sort. There's no meaning to his career. He did not stand up for anything. He's not no civil rights guy. Many times over was shown against that, but that's here and there, So the point is that they picked him because he was the guy that they can use as just like, hey, whatever. Like, we can just get whoever in here. We need the biggest puppet in here because this whole COVID thing is absolutely showing. It's the higher up showing how they don't really see us as intelligent, and they could just pass off this idiotic reaction of a disease, of a virus to us, and how we're just, we're so emotional, we just eat any kind of fear-based thing up, as long as they show it on TV, If we were smart, we would turn off the TV and absolutely just boycott the TV altogether. Because we're not living back in the days before social media. We can all link up as intelligent people, and we can absolutely all boycott their TV, because they're not even talking. Since Trump has gotten, since about 2015, 14, or since they started this Black Lives Matter stuff. Actually, you could go back all the way maybe to 2012. They have not really been talking about the news like that. Probably even further back. I could say, even when I was little, I remember watching the Iraq war coverage, and they weren't doing a good job as the media. So they haven't been doing a good job, but they lately, since Trump has been in, not been doing a good job. It's just like theatrics, and it's like, look, man, you can barely tell the difference between reality TV shows and the news now. So It's, I might as well go watch the reality TV shit than watch the fucking bullshit ass news. But anyway, so it's like that. So I feel like, people are going to have to really make intelligent moves. You got to start just boycotting all these TV programs, and that's what it is, programming. You got to turn off the programming. Stop getting programmed. Turn off the programming. Put it all down. Use social media the way you're supposed to. You're not supposed to use it just to do trends. You got to learn how to be you got to learn how to be adults out here. Like, it's one thing for the kids to do that, but like for grown ass people talking about they just want to use social media to trend, like it's not always a game. It's supposed to protect the future, and we're supposed to protect the future by right now making the right decisions, and we're making some terrible decisions. Like these kids are gonna grow up in some fucked up shit. Like I feel sorry for all those kids who getting vaccinated for some shit we don't even know what's going on. Like they just want booster shot after booster shot. I've never heard that about that in my life. How the fuck is disease has barely been out for a year and a half? Have this many booster shots, and Pfizer is making, I forgot how much billions they're making off this shit that they don't have to be liable for. They're just making all kinds of money out here off the vaccine. The vaccine is just rolling them in dough. And these kids are gonna have to probably take it to go to school. And right now they said if you're on, it's for kids over 12, I believe. But they'll try to go under and get younger and younger. They'll come up with something. And these weak parents are gonna make their kids go get it anyway. Because you don't question anything, you're a fucking idiot, and you just do whatever you're told. But anyway, yeah, we're not protecting the future at all. It's crazy. Nobody's protecting the future. And we're supposed to use on social media right now to be alert and stay united. Like, this is where we crashed the entire mindset of Republican, Democrat, or religious beliefs, or whatever, you classify yourself into. All that shit is bullshit. What this shit is now is people who need to sustain themselves. We're not able to sustain ourselves. We're not as rich as we think we are. Just because we got some clothes, we spend our money buying clothes and barely paying rent and all those things, and we think that we made it. Like, we have not made it. We're losing more and more of our rights, and the wages they're making certain shit set up so that it's hard to maintain a livable wage. And this is all created by design. But that's another topic. But anyway, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. We gotta start standing up, and it's been past that time. That's people protesting all around the world, but we're gonna have to turn it up a notch. I don't know what has gone on in this world for like it's just wild, like how brain dead the world is, like about things that matter. Like people come out and protest some shit that's just a total bunch of bullshit. People be like, oh my gosh, I'm upset that, the celebrity's not getting to get noticed in the Grammys or whatever. And, that's total bullshit. That's a total, who cares about that shit? And then you're going out here for, what is it? Like people that are getting evicted from their houses in a fucking pandemic, which lets you know this is tyranny. Nobody should be getting evicted in a pandemic in America. That's not that doesn't click to nobody. Everyone just like, oh well, that. What you mean? What you know? See, people are full of shit. And then you got all these rich people. There's also a rich kid thing, because a lot of people have come from money, families with money, so they don't really give a shit because it's not gonna happen to them. They think, and they think they're good, so they don't really worry about that type of stuff. So, but yeah, people who are not like that, we're gonna have to start realizing this is the people who are gonna have to learn. We're gonna have to learn how to sustain ourselves, because we're not as, financially backed up as we think we are, and we're gonna have to realize that we have to stand together. There's no way we're gonna do this on our own. On our own, we are completely smashed. and we're going to have to label. We're going to have to be the kind of people who get behind true medical understanding. You have to have. We're going to need doctors who are true doctors and truly care about people and just don't go out here injecting people or whatever the fuck comes out. The latest thing, like they're just throwing whatever fucking shit in our fucking bodies. It's just like bing bang boom bang. Now we need real doctors. We need fucking also good farmers so we can eat good food, healthy food. That's another thing that plays into a lot of our health, is we're eating GMO type food. We need good farmers to call this shit out. There needs to be a total cycle. We need real everything. We need people who are really about everything on all levels. We have to stop with the cheapskate shit, cutting corners society. We gotta stop getting comfortable being lazy. We gotta stop being comfortable being lazy. Like, we gotta stop being all types of fucking uh, half-ass society. That's why this country's falling apart. Everybody's half-assing. Even myself, like, you know, that's something I work on every day. This shit has me going like, yo, I have to like really grind down and get to the fucking, point where I'm like just killing whatever I set my mind to. We all gotta start setting our minds to something. If we all start doing that shit, we stop bullshitting around, stop BSing around, we can really get to where we gotta be. There's no do you. If I work hard, who knows how many people I can affect. And I've seen that where, I do something, I get it done well, and some other person will have a question and they'll influence somebody else, and that person will influence like 5 people, and someone will see me and they'll see that influence like them and 10 other people. You don't know how many people you've influenced just by doing the right thing. And you also don't know how many people you've influenced by doing the wrong thing. It causes a wave back and forth in this world. Whenever you do the right and wrong thing, you can make this world a hell, you can make this world a heaven. It's all based on your decision process. How do you want to make the world? But yeah, we gotta start standing together, and we can't let them label us. That's the thing they love. They love to label something, and then they like to villainize it, or if you make it canonize and make it like type of sainthood, certain things. Like the dancing nurses, they try to make them some type of fucking freaking heroes or something like that. But no, we gotta find our own thing, and then we gotta start learning how to live outside the system. We also gotta learn how to be psychologically strong to the media attacks, and we're starting to realize, what they do to, make other people look, disparage other people, and make other people feel left out. And that's how the main attack they use to get us, to get people who are outside the box to be estranged from society. When you're constantly feel like you're ostracized and everybody's walking in this path and you're not in that path, then you feel like, oh, I have to move with everybody else because they're doing it, so now I have to do it. And that's where this is all going. Everybody wants to go this way. Oh, just go get vaccinated. Oh, let's get boosted up. Oh, let's get boosted up again. Let's keep social distancing, even though we keep getting the shots and everything. Let's make fun of people who aren't doing the shots that we're doing. It's a popularity contest. That's all that is. And they're trying to break you down so that you go along with it, and then they're mixing in everybody together. So now I'm walking around here, and who I could be out here hanging out with people who've gotten vaccinated multiple times, and they're still out here wearing the mask. I'm not wearing a mask. I haven't got sick yet. They're wearing masks constantly. They're constantly going to the COVID lines, waiting in the lines to see if they got the COVID. That's what you do when you got COVID. It's like a bank. They gotta constantly wait to see if you got some money in there. You still got some money in there. After a long day's work of being outside, you gotta check and see if you got that bat flu in there, in that COVID bank, known as your body. You gotta see if that test is gonna give you that swab, and then boom, and you're gonna be negative, you're gonna be positive. Apparently, if you're positive, Now everybody who you talk to is gonna just freak out and freak out. Then they gotta shut down everything, create a whole wave or whatever. So this is the way that you get to shut down businesses. You get to shut down everything. Because you don't know who's got it now. Everybody, oh man. So he's symptomatic now. He didn't know he had it, and he just had it. He has tested positive for it. So now everywhere he's been, we got to test everybody. Everybody got to get tested. And boom. Shut down all the stores, yep. He talked to, he talked to the world's fastest man. So the world's fastest man ran all around marathon, talked to mad people. Now everybody at the marathon got it. You know how fast they are. They ran around all 5 boroughs, and the whole 5 boroughs got it. Shut down all 5 boroughs of New York City. Everybody has COVID now. Yep, can't be out here. Shut it all down. Yep, gotta shut it all down. All 8 million people have tested positive because one motherfucker tested positive and waited in a line to see if he was sick because he came out and tested positive for sickness. Everybody else must behave in this way. If you're not doing it, you are selfish. You are truly selfish. Because one guy decided to wait in a line to see if he was sick. Yeah, that makes sense. Yep. Because that's something that you've ever dealt with, ever in life. A disease that you have to wait in line for to see if you got it. And if they swab you and see, oh, you got it, oh my gosh. Now, oh no, now everybody you ever met, yep, they're all gonna die. So, to stop this, everybody gotta stay home. Another 2 weeks, boom. Take for another 2 weeks. That's how you do it. That's how we're gonna keep fighting this. Every 2 weeks, boom, shut everything down. Shut it all down again. Another worst COVID's come out, shut it all down again. Boom. Like, what the fuck? This shit is like an anti-bank disease. Like, every 2 weeks you're expecting your money to come in, your paycheck to come in. This shit is like the opposite of that. This shit, expecting this shit to come in and sweep through and fucking shut everything down again. Like, that shit is the anti-bank disease. Like, it shut down all the money, shut down the whole flow of everything. You just come in and just shut it all down, shut it down. This shit is crazy. Apparently, the Gestapo is also available in bacteria form. That's what this is. I want to see this shit under a microscope. This shit probably looks like Stalin. This man probably broke himself down to the microscopic form. It's probably this man's ashes spread all over the world now. Just fucking everybody up for his last chance. But yeah, that's part one, or that's just my first thought on all of this COVID reaction and everything like that. This whole, my reaction to the COVID reaction. That's what my thing is right now. I'm gonna talk more about other things dealing with all these issues in our society as we go on. So if you like it, let me know in the comments. It's probably all over the place, but I get better, just a rant, So, like, share, subscribe. Tell me what you liked about it. Have a good day. Thank you very much. Good night.